Well, blessed Wednesday to you as we come with your daily encouragement. And we're back again on a regular basis. So we'll be able to finish the book of Revelation and go into First Peter. But right now we are in Revelation chapter 22. Yesterday we talked about verse 5, about the undoing of the separation of light and darkness, of time, of worship and work. We will always be in the temple because the temple will be in our heart. We will always be at work and at worship. We will always be in daytime. We have no need of sleep. And so all those things. And for some of us maybe that are a little bit more introverted, I've usually been an extrovert, but as I've become a pastor, I've realized the need for alone time. And it's amazing. We've talked about it as colleagues, as other pastors, that we started, many of us, as extroverts, and boy, we really start to turn into introverts after a while. But part of it is that there will be no need of that separation time, that rest, and the other things. We will always be in the presence of God and of each other in the temple, at work, and at worship all together as one. I did mention a book that it is online. That if you happen to find it, it's definitely in the public domain. It is called Brother Lawrence, and the title of it is Practicing the Presence of God. And it is one of the most fascinating books that I've read. It is one about washing dishes and worshiping the Lord at the same time. It is probably an easy book for most people to understand. It doesn't have a lot of theological language to it, but it is a fascinating one, moving into what I would think the river of life is about. No separation of work and worship, no separation of light and darkness, day and night. All will be brought to fullness. And so it says in verse 6 of Revelation 22, and he said to me, these words are trustworthy and true. Of course, the word is Jesus, but the words that Jesus speaks are trustworthy and true. They create the world and they are creating this reality we have in this chapter. For the Lord, the God of the spirits of the prophets, has sent his angel, his messenger, to show his servants what must take place soon. And of course, we could say what has preceded this in the book of Revelation is what has now been completed. All of these must take place soon, or they already are taking place soon. And that's the tension we have at the book of Revelation. They reveal what will take place and what is taking place. And we can see with our eyes what we can see, but then there is a back room of things that we cannot see that are being revealed here in this passage. And so Jesus says, see, I am coming soon. The blessed is the one who keeps the words of the prophecy of this book. Now, I want to talk about the first part of that verse, verse 7, where it says, see, I am coming soon. Now, one of the interesting things with the change of language, I'm going to be doing a seminar on Bibles and differences between the Bibles, and a lot of times they have to deal with word choices. And in the more modern rendition of the Apostles' Creed, which actually is pretty accurate to the Latin, I mean, there is the most recent translation in our hymn books is almost word for word what's in the Latin, except in one spot. But uh, I'll talk about that at another time. But one of the changes has been, "He will come," and in the older translation it said, "He will come again." But in the newer one, it doesn't have the again part. It says, He will come to judge the living and the dead. And I think that that's significant because it isn't just about Jesus' second coming. Jesus promises to be with us where two or three are gathered in his name. Jesus promises to be with us in the waters of baptism and in, with, and under the bread and the wine. Our tension with our more reformed leaning people is that, yes, he's up in heaven, but he promises to be intimately in, with, and under the bread and the wine during communion. So, what I'm saying is that there is a second coming to end all time, break down the separation of light and darkness, day and night, and worship and work, and all those other things. But there is a sense in which Christ has already come and comes to judge in the present time. And so when we say we believe that he comes to judge, it isn't just merely he comes again to judge the living and the dead. He judges in the present time, both with conviction to turn from sin and also with resurrection to overcome sin, death, and the devil in our very life. So when we confess without the word again, it is important to know that he is present now. And when the book of Revelation, Apocalypse reveals itself, we can see that God is intimately present in our life, and we pray for eyes and ears to see that. But it also says that God will come to end and begin anew this new heaven and this new earth, this river of life. So see, I am coming soon. Blessed is the one who keeps the words of this prophecy of this book. And remember, prophecy is not just about predictions, it's about the intentions of God. And so, yes, we do need to hold our prophets accountable. I know of many people that are claiming to be prophets. They have been given recently some very interesting predictions about recent events, and they have come out very short. And then one started backpedaling that I was watching the other day, and she was saying that, well, I'm just talking about the intentions of God. It doesn't have to correspond with reality. That was her way to cover up her words because the Bible is very clear. If you're a prophet and you predict something and it doesn't come to pass, you're a false prophet. And that's why we had to make sure that we choose our words carefully of what we believe God is telling us to say to people and what we believe are the intentions of God towards people. We have to make sure that we are very careful in our wording. And that's one thing that I've learned, at least throughout my experience as a pastor, is that you need to make sure that not only your words, your actions, and all the other things are consistent. And I'll admit, mine aren't always, but I'm striving for that type of consistency, both in my speaking, my spirit, and my work. And it will not reach perfection, I believe, until the end of time, but I can strive for that and that work to make them all consistent. And just like the words of this prophecy, we talk about it. We talk about God establishing a new heaven and a new earth. We anticipate it and we work toward it. But in this life, we will always have corrupt and corruption. We will have imperfect people that we will elect and vote for. And we will also have imperfect relationships that we will struggle with and also celebrate in this life. So all of these things are moving towards Jesus not just coming in bread and wine, not just coming where two or three are gathered in his name, but coming at the end of time to judge the living and the dead. And the judging happens all throughout the period. It's just that we want to see a new heaven and a new earth. And that's what we have here at the book of Revelation as we're nearing the end. God bless you today. We trust that these continue to be words of encouragement. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.